Ni Oduekwa family, we owned a large tract of land called the Akanechu land. All the people who have spoken on this matter, have you seen any of them showed you a single document concerning the acquisition and what they are talking about? Have you even heard of the government? Have you seen any document they banded it around? Now, if you look at this document that I'm having, I have taken pains since we are part of the acquisition, and the Owoo stool is whom was awarded the final claim, the compensation. I have this. This document you see is everything concerning the Achimota acquisition that we are talking about. What happened was that this matter, why we came in, is that governments are voted to come into power to manage the resources of a state. And therefore, if government is managing the state, what business do we have? But when the EI was made, EI 144, that certain parts of the Achimota land had been given to the Owoo family because they wrote a petition. That is where we said, no, the Owoo family has nothing in the Achimota forest. They have not got even 1 inch of plot at the Achimota forest. So they are not the people whom the land must be given to. If it must be given to the Owoo stool. What I have in my hand like this, if you look at the claimants, when the acquisition was advertised in 1919, immediately after the First World War, the claimants included one Owoo. It's also part of the claimants. And then the rest of the names that followed.
Okay,
You
can
can look at it.
So this is the land acquisition on, it says number 1, 1950.
Yeah.
In the matter of the Public Lands Ordinance and in the matter of land acquired for the service of the Gold Coast Colony and Ashanti situate at Accra in the Accra district of the Eastern Province of the Gold Coast Colony and required for a university college. The names here, as he mentioned, there are some claimants on the list. It's quite an old document, so it's not really clear, but I would do my best to do the mentioning. So the first family is William George Boy Owoo,
Yes.
head of Owoo family. Ajay Onano the fifth, La Manche. Okay. Okwe Omabo.
He was acting Osumanche at the time.
Okay. If Osiahene.
Yes.
Acting Manche.
Yes, acting Osumanche.
Okay.
Yes,
and then I'm seeing J.W. Norte.
yes.
And G.P. Akwe.
Yes.
Ni Aite Kobla.
Yes, Kole Ulomo.
Okay. Aja Abebrese. Shipi of Anaho.
Osu Anoho.
Okay. Ni Clote, head of Ni Abeti family. The Gbese Manche. Mensa Shan. James Ado. Alias Adote Kwao.
That's my great-grandfather.
Your great-grandfather.
Yes.
Okay, so on the claimants list, you are 10. James Ado, alias Adote Kwao. A.S. Odonko, Joe Odonko, and Christian Fletcher. Ni Norte Ashon, 11. Mr. G.L. That the name there is not so clear, but 13 says James Todbo, representing Ni Kwame Fio family. Norte Hey, the names.
Okay, yes. So
It's quite an old document, but I just wanted to establish the fact that the Neo-Dwekwa family are part of the claimant, just like I'm seeing the William George Boy Owoo.
Yes.
So what happened after this? Because now we are seeing the Owoo family as part of the claimant, and then we are seeing the Neo-Dwekwa family also part of the claimant.
Yes, so what happened was that you have to defend your claim. So in the final analysis, judgment was given by J. Jackson on this claim. But I would like to, since the Owoos are the subject matter, I would like you to read this Jackson J's judgment. Yes, their claim was totally dismissed from the judgment. So they have nothing. They have nothing at the Achimota forest.
Okay, so that is why this one says the evidence appears to have been manufactured.
They manufactured the evidence. And a brief history of the Owoo family. You see, Ni Owoo himself, Ni William Owoo, the original Owoo, died in 1867. This acquisition was made in 1921. It was advertised in 1919. The Owoo, original Owoo, he died without a child. So he has no children of his own. But it is during the acquisition that his sister's children manufactured the family, the Owoo family, and came to do the claim. But you see, the subject matter is that we, the Neo-Dwekwa family, we are saying that the Owoo family purported to be the family that the land is being returned to does not exist. It is a cabal. It is a means to share the land because an Owoo family doesn't exist.
Share the land by who?
Yes, I will come to that.
Okay.
Those actors in the matter. If the land had to be returned to, it should be returned to the Osu people. Because we want this thing, the claim. We want our claim. Owoo didn't have anything. So they have to return it to the Osu people. But ask yourself, the place is a forest reserve. They return the land to the Osu people so that we will go and live in the forest as animals, or we should buy animals from Dubai to go and rear them in the forest, or what? What is the rationale of returning the land? We are impoverished. And so if we have land and government doesn't have use of it or want to return it to us, it should be in the form of compensation, but not the real land. So there is something behind it. If I tell you that that land had been shared already and that it will not be used for forest, but people will use it for their own whatever interest, not in the interest of a forest.
But you believe it has been shared already?
Oh yes, I have evidence to that effect. I have evidence to that effect.
By another set of families or?
By other set of families and groups. And you see, that Owoo family they said they have returned the land to doesn't exist. You came to my house. I'm Neo-Dwekwa II. I live in the family house. And that is why you are here. You can trace me. You can trace my family members. This is where we have our family meetings and all that. If you come here on Saturday at 10, you will meet our family members having our meeting. Where is that Owoo family? Who are they? There was one, John Eduse, who had been talking on behalf of the Owoo family. I challenge him.
As their lawyer?
As their lawyer. I challenge him. When you Google the Ghana Bar Association portal, you cannot find him there. So I have challenged him. Who are the people who call themselves the Owoo family who mandated him to speak on their behalf? I haven't heard of him since.
So you think it's a group maybe even politicians coming together and wanting to share the land.
Yes, there is a group like that. I have about 4 of them. I have reported the case to the property fraud, and that group had been arrested. They are called Ni Odoecho Odoekwao family of La. So
Ni
Odoecho Odoekwao family of La.
Okay.
And they claim they own all the lands in Accra and even Ghana. And they are a cabal. And they deal with the people in power and those who have money. So if they want a place, they are the people who sold the Bulgarian embassy to that powerful man who went and demolished that place. They don't exist as a family, but they are a cartel. They go to the archives, pick a family name that they have seen in a document, and then use it. That is one which is called the Owoo family now. First, they said Owoo family of Osu. I challenged them that there's no Owoo family in Osu. Now you see people coming up. Today, I heard of Neil Ante van der Poel saying that he's also part of the Owoo family, and said, look at it. Look at that. So it's a cabal, it's a decoy. I challenge them.
But the family you mentioned now will be one group.
Yes.
Which other people have you come across that are planning or possibly shared the Achimota forest land already?
Okay, there is a group too in Osu here. There is a group in Osu here. Our late chief, Nikinka Dowona, he has also given indentures on the Achimota land, more than 70 acres. Then there is another chief in Kutubabi called Nindote Agbo. He has also given out the lands we are talking about, indentures, and people are carrying it. So it is those people who are carrying those indentures who are pressing the government to release the land so that they will be able to register their lands. And then you will see how dissipation will take place in that Achimota enclave over there.
But do you also share in the comments around? I mean, people are also claiming it could be, or like you mentioned, the Owoo family doesn't exist, but some supposed powerful people somewhere are coming up with fictitious names so they can get an avenue to maybe share the lands among themselves, even before the issue of Sir John's will also came in.
What you said cannot be overemphasized. That is how it is. We cannot overemphasize it. It is a group of cartel. You see, they are talking of what? You see something, you say something.
Yeah, see something, say something.
See something, say something.
999.
This is how these terrorists emerge. This is how they emerge. So they get these things, money goes into their hands, and they use it to fund their terrorist activities. Now, they want a place near the Achimota forest so that they can make their camps and everything there. And then they will determine who should rule and who should not rule. That is what is happening. That is what is happening. So it is made up of powerful people. Otherwise, what business? I'm asking again, what business does government have by succeeding a forest reserve to a family? What should they use it for? Should they turn themselves into chimpanzees and go and live in the forest? Or what? They should cut down the trees, sell the land, so that it defeats the aim of making the forest reserve. Why? Can't the government even go and get an investor who will pay compensation to the family so that the forest will remain forest?
So you do agree that the forest can just remain forest and no one will claim ownership of it?
No,
not like taking your eyes off it totally, but we should let it be as a forest reserve in the region.
Yes, that is what the colonial government handed over to the, self-government. And it has been proven that it is of good use So I'm telling you what is behind. They have already shared the land. There are people holding indentures on that land already.
So
And they are,
apart from the four you mentioned, the four groups you mentioned, are there any other day you think are behind the sharing of this land?
you see, this thing started from the Rawlings era. That's why you see the Nestle headquarters, Noga Hill Hotel.
Okay.
Nestle headquarters, you have APSA, there's a Shell, this thing and all that. All are part of the Achimota forest. So it didn't start today. They have dissipated the forest already, including some lawyers. You have some lawyers who are also living in the Achimota forest, just behind the Noga Hill Hotel and the Nestle headquarters and all that. So they have already dissipated the forest already. They have already done that. So all that they needed was that to legitimize the wrong they have done is to bring out an EI so that it will legitimize the wrong, like the parliament say that they rectify whatever that had been done. That's what they are doing. Their mindset was that even if there's going to be an eco park and everything, hotels that will be built up and these things should be by them. And that's why they have brought the EI. They will own it and this thing.
So
but
it's for people's parochial interest.
People's parochial interest, but we can assure them. You see, we are having a systematic way. Even after we have gone, we are putting things in place such that we will capture the police service, we will capture the army, we will capture political power, we will capture the institutions like the Lands Commission. They will be our own people. And those who have looted our lands, even if they have skyscrapers on them, we will bring all of them down. Because land is not like a mat that can be rolled and taken away. My stand is in twofold. One, if government says it's releasing the land, it must be released to the Owoo people, not the Owoo family. We will go to court to enforce that. It must be to the Owoo people. Then number two, I don't see the rationale behind the releasing of the land. Because if the land use is for a forest, it should remain like that. All that they need to do, because if it's a 99-year lease, if the leasehold had expired and it has expired, they should come and sit down with the Owoo people. And then we will negotiate for the necessary compensation. If they can't pay everything outright, it can be staggered in bonds, and we will be using also to develop our place. That is all. Those are the two things. So that those who have given indentures and wanted to go and collect their money or anything, we scratch all of them away. So these are the legend for the claimants. So for each one of them, there is a different color. So okay. You look at the color, and then you look on the map, you see the area area where the person is claiming they are demanding for the compensation. Yes.
Okay.
And so like what you read concerning the Owoos, this is what we just read. Have you opened it? Maybe you can read it from here.
Okay. Okay. So we go back to read, and then it says, this is the judgment, continuation of the judgment. I mean, getting to the final bit, it says, it is upon this evidence which appears to me to have been manufactured, that I am asked to rebut the presumption that the parties in possession of such lands, as being the owners thereof, are lawfully entitled to such lands, and to say that the Owoo family is so entitled. The claim in my judgment has no merit in substance whatsoever, and I do dismiss it.
Yes. So they fraud. Right? If you go into this document, you will find out that they brought this thing, a site plan, purported an indenture was given to them by the Gbese Manche, and it has a different acreage. Then in 1921, they brought another one. 1927, they brought another from the same grantor, but different acreage, same document. So that is why the judge said what they have is manufactured.
It's manufactured.
Yes, and so their claim was
dismissed.
dismissed.
So which of these ones belong to the Owoo family? Or
The very first
very
one.
first one. Oh,
and you know, interestingly, the Owoo family, their counsel is Mr. Edward Akufo. The counsels for the...
Which of the Edward Akufos?
The father of the present... our present president. The list, yes. I think the list...
Okay. It's here.
Yes. So...
Okay, so the judgment I read was from Judge J. Jackson.
Yeah.
And the counsel, the list is down here. I have the very first one being Mr. Akufo-Addo for first claimant. So current president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's father,
Yes.
if I'm right,
Yes.
was the counsel for the Owoo family when this issue was in court.
Exactly.
And then N.A. Olenu, is it Niama? Niama Olenu was the counsel for the second claimant,
La Manche.
which is the La Manche.